The concept that your brain hallucinates your conscious reality offers a profound rethinking of how we perceive and interact with the world. This idea is deeply embedded in cognitive neuroscience, emphasizing that our experiences are not direct reflections of the external world, but are constructed by our brain through a complex interplay of predictions and sensory feedback. Prominent neuroscientists, such as Hallucinates, have extensively explored these ideas. Here is a detailed and expansive exploration of the mechanisms, implications, and broader context of this concept. 1. Predictive processing, the brain's core mechanism. At the heart of the idea that the brain hallucinates reality is the concept of predictive processing. This model suggests that the brain is a prediction machine, continuously generating hypotheses about sensory input based on past experiences and learned patterns. Predictive processing involves several key components. Bayesian inference, the brain employs Bayesian inference to update its predictions. Bayesian inference involves using probabilities to update the likelihood of a hypothesis. Based on new evidence, in the context of perception, this means the brain is constantly weighing the probability of various outcomes and adjusting its expectations to minimize prediction errors, the discrepancies between expected and actual sensory input. Hierarchical processing, the brain's predictive mechanisms operate hierarchically. Higher cortical areas generate more abstract, high-level predictions, while lower areas handle specific, detailed sensory information. This hierarchical structure ensures that broad predictions are continuously refined by sensory details at multiple levels of processing, leading to a coherent and precise perception of the world. Feedback loops. Predictive processing relies on feedback loops between different levels of the brain's hierarchy. High-level predictions are sent downwards, and sensory information flows upwards, allowing for continuous adjustment and refinement of perceptions. This dynamic interplay ensures that our perceptions are both stable and adaptable to new information. 2. Sensory input and interpretation, bridging ambiguity. Sensory input is inherently ambiguous and incomplete. The brain's ability to interpret and construct meaningful perceptions from fragmented data is a testament to its sophisticated processing capabilities. Top-down and bottom-up processing. Perception results from the interaction between top-down predictions and bottom-up sensory signals. Top-down processing involves using prior knowledge and expectations to interpret sensory data, while bottom-up processing involves constructing a perception based on sensory input. This interaction ensures that our perceptions are both informed by experience and grounded in reality. Contextual influence. The brain uses contextual information to resolve ambiguities in sensory input. For example, visual context can influence how we perceive sounds, and the same stimulus can be interpreted differently depending on the surrounding context. Optical illusions and ambiguous figures, such as the Rubin vase or the Necker cube, demonstrate how context and expectation shape perception. Perceptual constancies. The brain maintains perceptual constancies, such as size, shape, and color constancy, allowing us to perceive objects as stable despite changes in sensory input. For example, a car viewed from a distance appears the same size as when it is nearby, even though its retinal image size changes. This stability is crucial for navigating and interacting with the world effectively. 3. Perception as controlled hallucination, a dynamic interaction. Hallucinates and other researchers describe perception as a form of controlled hallucination. This concept emphasizes that our perceptions are constructed internally, constrained, and guided by actual sensory input. It suggests that perception is a dynamic interaction between the brain's predictions and sensory feedback. Hallucination perception continuum. Normal perception and pathological hallucinations exist on a continuum. In normal perception, the brain's predictions are constantly corrected by sensory input, maintaining alignment with reality. In pathological conditions, such as schizophrenia, this balance is disrupted, leading to hallucinations where the brain's predictions dominate, creating perceptions without corresponding external stimuli. Error minimization. The brain's primary goal is to minimize prediction errors by continuously updating its internal model. This process resembles hypothesis testing, where the brain's model of the world is refined to better match sensory evidence. This constant adjustment enhances the accuracy and reliability of our perceptions. Plasticity and adaptation. The brain's predictive models are not static. They are highly plastic and adaptable. Learning and experience continuously shape and refine these models, allowing the brain to adapt to new environments and challenges. This plasticity is fundamental to cognitive development and learning. 4. The role of attention, focusing the constructed reality. Attention is a crucial mechanism by which the brain prioritizes certain sensory inputs over others, shaping the content of our conscious experience. Selective attention, the brain filters out irrelevant information and focuses on what is deemed important. This selective process is essential for managing the vast amount of sensory data we encounter. For example, the cocktail party effect demonstrates how we can focus on a single conversation amidst a noisy environment. Selective attention enhances our ability to process relevant information while ignoring distractions. Attentional control. The ability to control attention is vital for cognitive functions such as learning, memory, and problem solving. By directing attention to specific stimuli, the brain enhances the processing and retention of relevant information. This selective focus influences future predictions and perceptions, shaping our experiences and interactions. Neural mechanisms. Attention involves various neural mechanisms, including the activation of specific brain regions and networks. The prefrontal cortex and parietal lobes play key roles in attentional control, while neural oscillations and synchrony between brain regions facilitate the selective processing of information. 5. Multisensory integration, creating a unified experience. Multisensory integration is the brain's process of combining information from different sensory modalities to form a cohesive and comprehensive perception. Cross-modal effects. Our senses do not operate in isolation. For instance, the McGurk effect illustrates how visual information can alter auditory perception, leading to an integrated experience that differs from the sum of its parts. This integration helps create a more accurate and stable perception of the environment. Sensory weighting. The brain assigns different weights to sensory inputs based on their reliability in a given context. For example, in low-light conditions, auditory information might be given more weight than visual information, enhancing our ability to navigate and understand our surroundings. This adaptive weighting ensures that our perceptions are optimized for the current context. Temporal and spatial coordination. Multisensory integration involves the coordination of sensory inputs across time and space. The brain synchronizes information from different senses to create a unified perception of events, allowing us to perceive the world as a coherent whole. 6. The self and consciousness, constructing identity. The sense of self and consciousness are also products of the brain's constructive processes, integrating sensory information with memory, emotions, and cognitive functions to create a continuous and unified experience of being. Self-model. The brain constructs a self-model that integrates bodily sensations, thoughts, and emotions. This model helps distinguish self from non-self, a fundamental aspect of consciousness. Disruptions in this integration can lead to altered states of consciousness, such as out-of-body experiences or dissociative disorders. Narrative identity. Our sense of self is also shaped by the narratives we construct about our lives. These narratives integrate past experiences and future goals, providing a coherent sense of identity and purpose. The brain's ability to create and maintain these narratives is crucial for personal continuity and mental health. Autobiographical memory plays a key role in constructing and maintaining these narratives, influencing how we perceive ourselves and our experiences. Conscious experience. Consciousness emerges from the brain's ability to integrate information across different domains, creating a unified experience of the present moment. Theories of consciousness, such as the global workspace theory and integrated information theory, propose mechanisms by which the brain integrates and broadcasts information to create conscious awareness. Implications, broader context and applications. Understanding that our perception of reality is a constructed hallucination has profound implications across various fields. Philosophy of mind. This perspective challenges traditional notions of objective reality and subjective experience, prompting philosophical inquiries into the nature of reality, consciousness, and the self. It raises questions about the limits of human knowledge and the nature of subjective experience. Clinical psychology and psychiatry. Insights into predictive processing and controlled hallucination can inform the treatment of psychiatric disorders. For instance, in conditions like schizophrenia, where predictive processing might be impaired, therapeutic approaches could focus on correcting faulty predictions. Understanding these mechanisms can also inform treatments for conditions such as autism, anxiety disorders, and depression, where sensory processing and predictive mechanisms may differ significantly. Artificial intelligence and robotics. Applying principles of predictive processing to AI and robotics can enhance the development of systems that interact with the world in more human-like ways. Understanding how the brain constructs reality can inspire algorithms that improve machine perception, learning, and decision-making. For example, developing predictive models in AI can enhance their ability to anticipate and respond to environmental changes, making them more adaptive and efficient. Education and learning. Insights into how attention and predictive processing shape perception can inform educational practices. Strategies that align with the brain's natural learning processes, such as engaging students' prior knowledge and contextualizing new information, can enhance learning outcomes. Understanding the brain's mechanisms can also inform the development of educational technologies and personalized learning approaches. Virtual reality and simulation. Understanding how the brain constructs reality can inform the design of virtual reality VR and augmented reality AR systems. By aligning these systems with the brain's predictive processing mechanisms, developers can create more immersive and realistic experiences. This knowledge can also inform therapeutic applications of VR and AR, such as exposure therapy for anxiety disorders. Conclusion: the brain's masterful construction. The brain's ability to hallucinate our conscious reality underscores its remarkable complexity and efficiency. By continuously generating, testing, and refining predictions, the brain constructs a coherent and stable perception of the world, enabling us to navigate and interact with our environment effectively. This understanding bridges cognitive science,